to the next regular scheduled meeting.
Mayor?
Councilman Howard?
Is that a form of a substitute resolution, or procedurally what are we doing here?
Councilwoman Kerwin withdrew the tabling motion, and this was a new motion.
I think Councilmember.
Correct, Mr.
I think
Bartholomew?
Councilmember Hawryluk is right. The appropriate thing would be to substitute. Thank you, Councilmember Hawryluk. It is therefore a substitute. I think he's being a gentleman about it.
All right.
The vote, Mrs. Bartholomew?
Councilmember McGinnis?
Yes.
Slater?
Yes.
Mayor Schilling?
Yes.
Councilmember Beltramini?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Howryluk?
No.
Kerwin?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mayor,
Next.
you still have
Yes,
one more vote on
I know.
this.
One more, and I was just looking ahead here. One more vote? Go ahead.
Councilmember Slater?
Yes.
Mayor Schilling?
Yes.
Councilmember Beltramini?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Howryluk?
No.
Kerwin?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Motion passes. Council comments. I'm hoping council will save their comments to
Just a couple.
the next meeting, or if you have something quick, and then we'll go into the other meeting. Councilwoman Beltramini?
Just a quick reminder that with all of the snow that we do have people who live in locations where they are not able to scoop out their own fire hydrants. So if you are an able-bodied neighbor and could do that, that would be a really great thing and help everybody. That's all.
Mayor?
Councilman Howard?
You know, I was going through the some of our budgetary items, and one of the interesting PowerPoint slides that we had at the May 2nd City Council study session was essentially a definition of a 3-year budget, because it is a new thing for us. And it's interesting that it says that the following: characteristics and guidelines of a multi-year budget. Budget process is no longer an annual event. Multiple year budget evolves year-round. Emphasis on the word evolves year-round. Make reasonable assumptions. Make modifications as more data is available. Rolling budget. Make timely and frequent budget amendments. And I bring that up not just because of what just happened, but also because in November we had a lot of interesting things that were conveyed to us by city management, and I guess I was kind of waiting for something to happen insofar as an amendment to that rolling budget was concerned. And so it's not just a library issue and the things that were in that resolution I brought to the table, but I'd actually like to see the changes that staff had brought to us in November incorporated into an updated multi-year budget, so that when folks reference it, they actually see what is the most current situation here. So I just bring that up as food for thought.
Anybody else? Council comments? Council Mayor Pro Tem Kerwin?
You know, we had more than 24 people come for us, and I was reminded of serving on the Board of Education when we would have 24 people show up during the month of January for Board Appreciation Month. And it dawned on me that I didn't see the resolutions commending our 7 board. We have 7 school districts. We have 7 boards of education, and it would be nice to have those resolutions, even though we kind of missed the Board Appreciation Month. It would be good to have those resolutions presented to us at the next meeting so we can send those out. Okay. It's always good to recognize local elected officials.
Okay, that ends.
Mayor?
Councilman Slater?
I'm sorry, but I just think it's important to consider. There was some discussion tonight about survey, and I know it's not the only mechanism that we should use, but I think it's an important mechanism, especially with what's going on. So in light of what the ICMA recommendation was to engage the public, I would like to get some support from council to have a survey and to direct administration to come back to council at the next council meeting with 3 recommendations for a survey
So that we can go out for RFPs.
so that we can go out for RFPs. I think it's important that we get this going very quickly. Personally, for me, I need some data because it's time to lead this community, and I want as much information as I can get to make a decision. So I would hope that I could get some support tonight to direct administration to come back at the next meeting with 3 alternatives.
Mr. Zerling, do you need a resolution, or do you want from council here?
Well, I don't need a resolution to update our 3-year budget on the website, and I don't need a resolution to have an appreciation of the school board members, but I would like one on something like this because this is very time intensive.
Then we have to suspend the rules and to have a resolution. Councilman Slater, want to move to suspend the rules first?
I would move to suspend the rules.
Support.
Moved by Councilman Slater, seconded by Councilman McGinnis, that we suspend the rules. Discussion of the suspension? The vote, Mrs. Bartholomew?
Mayor Schilling,
Yes?
Councilmember Beltramini,
No.
Fleming,
No.
Howard,
No.
Kerwin,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Slater,
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mayor?
Councilman Slater?
I would move a resolution to direct city administration to return at the next council meeting with 3 businesses or organizations that could do a community survey for the city with the intent to, I'll just leave it at that for now.
Do you have a second?
I would support it and suggest an amendment, statistically significant survey. I don't think there's any point in just doing a random survey if you're actually going to hire a firm to do it. So if you would include Councilmember Slater, statistically significant.
So moved.
Mayor?
Moved by Councilman Slater, seconded by, excuse me, by Mayor Pro Tem Kerwin. Discussion, Councilman Howard?
Yes, about 20 minutes ago, it appeared to me that might be council's policy not to take any action on council-initiated resolutions at the meeting tonight. So, and this is actually a non-budgeted item as well, and it's something that we haven't had a chance to fully study and think about. So I'm actually going to make a resolution that we postpone this resolution until February 21st.
Support.
Moved by Councilman Howard, seconded by Councilman Beltramini, that we postpone this item till February 21st. Discussion of the postponement.
Madam Mayor?
Councilwoman Beltramini?
The reason I voted no and the reason I seconded Councilman Harlech's motion to postpone is we need to know what we want to learn. And until we know that, we don't know how to get at that information and how to most efficiently get at that information. And so until we know that, I think we're asking management to do something that may be inappropriate in the long run. That's why. Again, it's a non-budgeted item. We don't know what we want. So,
And when we got the ICMA report, one of the things they suggested is getting input. One of the ways they said was through a survey. And at that time, I thought, oh, we should have something come forward. But I think we do need to, all of us, think about what we want to have in there. And so maybe in having it come back on the 21st, all of us will have done some thinking about that so that it could be more comprehensive and then go forward.
Mayor?
Councilman Howard?
And not only that, but from a process improvement standpoint, even though the unscientific surveys are not necessarily indicative of the community at large, but if you have it so that the people that are actually using the service or the product are the ones that, and that of course is a lot, it's a very cost-effective way to see how your constituents, your users of services, feel the services are being delivered. I guess the thing I'd like to know is, are we planning to make a major policy decision in looking for a scientific survey? I mean, because the survey can mean lots of different things to lots of different people.
I think that we'll have that discussion on the 21st after everybody thinks about what kind of things that they want to bring forward. I had also suggested to the city manager that something be placed in the water bill. Since we already have the water bills go out quarterly, something slipped in there where people could check off things and write a comment if they want. So it would be an ongoing gathering of information, which is another thing that was suggested in the ICMA report, that not only would we have a survey, but that we have ongoing data come in, which we used to have, again, when we did the calendar, because we had the survey card every year go out, and then people, if they chose, could return it. They could either drop it off at City Hall or mail it in. So,
Madam Mayor?
yes. I know, this is on the postponement, so.
It is on the postponement. I think we're talking about different things. We're talking about public engagement. We're talking about kind of random services. There are a lot of different ways we could go. However, if we were going to hire a firm to do a survey, by gosh, it should be statistically significant. If not, we're just completely wasting our money. So perhaps during the time we have to think about what forms of public engagement or how we would like to, and ICMA listed a whole series of ways, including at the grocery store, that we'd like to involve our community in giving us input. But the overarching piece that became clear at the ICMA meeting was what kinds of services do our residents want? And we need to know that and how those can be delivered better. So we've got to figure that out. We've got to figure that out pretty fast before we cut our way to oblivion here.
The vote, Mrs. Bartholomew, on the postponement?
Councilmember Beltramini?
Yes.
Fleming?
Yes.
Howrlack?
Yes.
Kerwin?
Yes.
McGinnis?
Yes.
Slater?
Yes.
Mayor Schilling?
Yes. Motion passes. Any other item? Okay, we're in adjournment, and then we'll reconvene the special meeting.